Okay, now we have our next thing on beam, and oh no, 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 no! That's insane! Why? Oh my god, this just brings back scars. All right, yeah, that really well done. But this guy, for some reason, is doing it over the shoulder. 0 points, fail, go back to training. You suck. Hello, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm May, and I'm a really big fan of gymnastics. I've been doing sport for half my life, I've coached for 5, and I discovered it through this beautiful series, Prince of Persia. And today, I want to go through every single acrobatic move in the series and give them a nice rating system, whether it's realistic, whether it's really difficult, or whether it's just like, oh, I'm not sure how gravity works. And let's start with the most iconic move, the horizontal wall run. Whoa, that is really far, really crazy. He must have some really nice shoes, because after more than a few steps, he would fall down. This is definitely kind of like them going a little crazy with some of the fantastical elements, because this is unfortunately not really possible. If you were to actually try to wall run directly on a flat wall, perpendicular wall, you would just take maybe 1, 2, 3 steps at best, and you would just go tumbling. It's possible to wall run on like a curved surface, like if it's like 70 degrees or 80 degrees, because that's actually more plausible. You know, if you get enough momentum going, especially if it's one in a circle, you kind of keep going and maybe eventually get out of that little tunnel. I'll get a video to know what I'm talking about. But a perpendicular wall, kind of hard. Also, the fact that like he took like 3 meter distance, that's pretty far. That's kind of nuts. So in our first ranking, so we have a ranking system, S for actually incredibly easy, and all the way down to D for gravitationally impossible, and another for crappy animation, which you'll see a little later on. So where does the horizontal wall run rank? Is it something that maybe if we spend our whole life doing, we can maybe do it? Maybe like 3 or 4 steps, you spend all the time, maybe you can get good at it. But I'm putting it in gravitationally impossible. Maybe someday some actual crazy athlete will do it, but for now, I don't see it happening. Let's see what the next skill is. Okay, another horizontal wall run. And then, yes, the vertical wall run. Let's take a look at that one again. This one, a vertical wall run, is actually more possible because it's, first of all, it's not so long. And second of all, it's actually more common than you think it is. So in it, he takes like 3 or 4 steps, and they're pretty small. Okay, that's totally possible. Yeah, that's definitely possible. I would still say like that's a 1 or 2 steps more than that's realistically possible. The most realistic one I've ever seen is in Assassin's Creed, the Ezio trilogy, where I think Ezio would do like a 2-3 step wall run and then jump to the side. That's probably the most realistic vertical wall run there is. And funny enough, it's actually made by the same developer. But the Prince of Persia one, too many steps too soon. You know, I'll even eat the steps. But there are also different variations of the vertical wall run in the series. Let's take a look at some of them. Some of them include a bit of a sword slash. Okay, whoa, nice. That was really well done. Nice job, nice job. So that's just like a simple backflip, but he had a beautiful position, had his arms out, backed, arched, feet together, almost like they were pointed, almost like he was like waiting for gymnastics judges. Like that was really well executed, really well. I'll give that perfect 10 right there. Let's see. So how would I rate this? So, the vertical wall run. All right, so just the vertical wall run alone, honestly, it's not that hard. I would say it takes a bit of work. Because just the wall run alone with no flip, it's not that difficult. I think maybe learn that in a day, but you know, some people might take it work. We'll do that here. Now for the flip version with the backflip, you need to learn how to do a backflip and then do a wall run. So that one also takes a bit of work. So let's make that one a bit more difficult. All right, wall run, backflip. All right, this is definitely, well, it has to be more difficult than the basic one. So yeah, I think that's a really good choice. And the last vertical wall run in this series looks something like this. Okay. Whoa, that's 1, 2, 3. How much twist is he doing? That's freaking crazy! God, okay, let me watch it in normal speed because it must be faster than normal speed. Oh, okay. That's a lot of twist. That is nuts. All right, so in this variation, he is doing the wall run, doing a flip, and then adding, I think, 4 twists. That's kind of a lot, like 4 twists. Once you start really twisting fast, it becomes really hard to tell like how many twists twist the athlete is doing. Usually, it just takes experience to like learn to count them all. But yeah, it's pretty quick. I think he's doing about 4 flips. Yeah, but that's pretty hard. That's at that point we're really getting into like the peak human physique, because there literally comes a point where being too wide hurts you when doing twist, because you're going against gravity, right? The wider you are, the harder it is to twist. That's why like the first person to ever like do like a quad twist is actually a woman. She actually was really skinny and really narrow, so she was able to really get around 4 times. And I think the men ended up getting it like 10 years later by another gymnast. But where does the quad twist flip rank? I think you're gonna spend your whole life on this move. And what I mean by spend your whole life on this move is really like you have to learn how to do a flip, and then maybe 1 twist, and then a second twist, and that takes years. So it's not like you end up wanting to learn that one move. It's like you just build upon it. So this is definitely a spend a lot of time, maybe like a decade on this one. All right, the next clip comes from the Wii version of Forgotten Sands. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what he does. Okay. Oh, okay. How does that make sense? He just like jumped on that beam like it was nothing. Just boop, nothing. Like no effort. Not even a pull up. Not even a dip. That's a little strange. Yeah, he like just lifts himself up to his feet with 0 effort. That takes incredible amount of strength. So basically, like the closest thing what he did was basically something called like a muscle up, right? So a muscle up is like you do a pull up and then you do like a dip, and then you end up getting to basically like a support position. But he just went straight to his feet, which is even crazier. Like he basically just jumped with his arms, which is kind of nuts. But yeah, this move requires incredible strength. Like you really need to be strong to be able to do that move. But I don't think it's not impossible. I do think it's possible. I'm gonna rank it like a muscle up, because that's basically what it is. Muscle ups, when I was first learning them, took me quite a while to learn. Like it took me at least a few months. So I'm gonna say this is something you definitely take. I think it's harder. Well, I think it's harder. Muscle ups, in my experience, took me a few months. Wall run backflips, you can kind of do like maybe in a week if you have no fear and you're just courageous and you have good mental skills. Muscle up legitimately just requires strength, which just takes time to develop. But yeah, that the whole hop onto your feet thing, kind of a little ridiculous. But we'll just let it slide. All right, next up we have, I think, one of my favorite events to do in gymnastics. So right here, he's roll running and then onto the bar. Let's go. He's doing revolutions. He's doing giants. So in sport gymnastics, there is an event called high bar, and it looks exactly like this, where you see a guy do like flips, or they're called giants, where you go all the way around, do a few skills, then do a dismount, then that's your routine. And this was what the prince is doing is basically a high bar skills, or at least high bar routine. And he started off by doing giants, which is pretty bold. So giants are actually the most basic skills on high bar. It's like you do them at least like 10 to 20 times. It's like floating for swimming. Once you learn giants, then you can learn all the other really funner skills. So let's take a look at his like giants per se. Okay, he's doing it pretty well. So one thing about like his technique is that he's kind of like arching his back, like right here, like in the back of the swing, where in reality you kind of want to be the opposite. You kind of want to be like curved on like the hips area, like it's called a hollow position. And then you want to kick at the bottom, and then you want to kick over your feet to go into a handstand. The one issue with his is that he's kind of like stopping right in the handstand position, and you don't want to be doing that. You want to keep the momentum going, right? You want to keep going, maybe go faster and faster, so you can maybe one day even do harder skills. So, but you know what? The fact that he's doing it is pretty impressive, and like the technique is pretty good too. Let's see, how will I rate these giants? I think they definitely take a bit of work to learn. Wall run backflip, I think it's exactly where wall run backflip. I can, you know what? I'll put. I'm gonna put it right here. So one thing with like learning giants specifically is that like they require like more strength than it looks, because you have to like basically do like a handstand, like push against your shoulders quite a lot when you're coming up, and the kick can be kind of challenging. But you know, I think they're exactly the same. I do think they're easier than muscle ups. Muscle up is just pure like raw strength. But yeah, okay. Well, let's see what the next move. Okay, I saw him do something really weird. Okay, so when you're going down, let's say you're trying to stop your giant swings, because that can be a little scary to stop them. Usually, like, there's a few techniques. Sometimes people want to like go on the back and then you end up just dropping onto your feet. Sometimes you want to do a dismount, which is even harder, but you know, you can do that too. And then what I like to do is basically just hold on, and then you end up just kind of like just going back and forth swinging, and then you end up losing all momentum, and then you can basically let go. What he did, horrible technique. He bent his arms and then literally almost ate the bar. First, on a high bar, you almost never want to bend your arms. Always keep them straight the entire time. Bending your arms, you can really likely end up hitting your face with the bar, and it's just not really fun to do that. So yeah, that's a little scary, but you know, he's okay. He's an invincible prince. Also, he has a dagger, so in case he gets injured, it's fine. What's he gonna do next? Is he gonna do a dismount? He's gonna do a flyaway. Okay, that was really nice. That was really good height too. Okay, we'll see that again. Nice. That was really good height. Okay, that's really good. All right, I like that a lot. So here, honestly, like a flyaway, a dismount, it looks impressive. It's honestly just a swinging. It's just learning to let go at the right time. It's not that hard. It's mostly a mental thing. And I think anyone, well, if they have a good swing going, they can, you know, learn do a flyaway. Here specifically, he got like a lot of height, which is good. The bar is also like bending a little bit, which is actually kind of expected. So like a real like high bar would actually bend, and you can almost use it like a slingshot for like even crazier skills. So that's actually a good technique that he's actually doing, that he's actually bending the bar. How would I rate this? High bar dismounts. Okay, I think it's easier than giants, and then easier than wall run backflip. I'm gonna put it right here because you know, you can learn this in a day. Honestly, maybe you should go here because it's not that hard. It's like a pretty easy move, and it's mostly a mental thing. But like most skills in gymnastics are mental. Like they aren't really physical. Like the sport looks really hard, but like they're mostly like body awareness rather than just like pure strength. Ignore the arms, you know. Let's go to the next skill. Okay, he's on a high bar. Okay, he's doing more giants. Oh, he's gonna jump to the other bar. Okay, isn't he? And nice. Okay, that looked really good. The catch is obviously the hardest part here, but that was really well done. Another giant. Okay, I like this a lot. That was really good. So this is basically the same thing as like the high bar dismount, but now he's catching another bar. And obviously when we were trying to catch another bar from like another flip, it's makes it pretty hard. Right now he has to be like perfectly timing it, because like if he holds on too early, if he let goes too early, he'll end up going too far forward, maybe catching the bar from below. Or if he let goes too late, he may end up getting really high but not getting far enough. So you have to really time it perfectly to get it, and also just like know where the bar is when you're in the air, right? Like you only see the bar when you're like just at the last second, so it can be pretty challenging. So how do I rate this technique? High bar dismount or regress? Well, it's obviously harder than this because, you know, you have to catch another bar. So I think it's harder than giants. I think it's harder than giants for sure. Giants are easy once you learn them. Yeah, catching the second bar is the hardest part, honestly. And also, like, in the game, I know you can, like, continuously flip. Doing more than one or two gets really difficult. All right, let's see our next skill. Okay. Oh, wow, he's doing half turns. That's really cool. Okay. Nice. Okay, nice little... Okay, that's a really nice hop. All right, yeah, that... Really well done. That's really good. So half turns are effectively a way to actually turn around as you're like doing giants. Usually you want to do them like maybe like one arm at a time, do a little slower. And then once you get better at them, you can basically do like how the Prince did, where you basically just hop. Hopping is definitely a little scary because you don't look at the bar when you're doing it, and you kind of just have to like sense exactly where the bar is and where you are, especially because your body's on top of you and because you're looking at a bar and the rest of you is on top. But yeah, it's definitely definitely possible, definitely realistic. He also has like fantastic technique. Like he literally just jumps perfectly at the handstand, even kind of like has his feet together too, which is almost no deduction. I think it's basically a perfect 10 on this scale alone. So yeah, that's really well done. But difficulty, how difficult is that move? Well, let's get into our tier list maker. Okay, so getting it into the tier list. So the half turn with a bit of a hop. Okay, so half turn jumps. Where would I rate that? I want to say it takes a bit of work. I will say right here is good. Right here. You have to learn how to do giants before you learn that. So I think right here is perfect. Right before high bar dismount regrasp. I think that's actually perfect. All right, let's look at the next skill on high bar is... Okay, he's doing giants into... Okay. This is a little stupid. This is a little crazy. This is hard as hell. So he's basically doing the same skill as where you just catch onto the bar, except he's going higher up, which is freaking ridiculous. Like you have to have a crazy swing and then crazy air awareness to know exactly where the bar is on top of you. Cause like you're not gonna be able to look at it as you're swinging. Like if it's going straight at you, like if the bar is straight in front of you, then it's easier. But the fact that it's like above you, so much harder. I think it's possible. I have no idea. I can't. I can maybe do the first. I can maybe do the first one, but the one where it goes up, there's like no way. I do think it's physically possible, but it's just take a lot of work to do that one. I definitely feel like I'm not gonna rate the skill, but I do feel like it's just harder. It may be on the impossible list. Now we'll take a little bit of a visit to the 2D Lost Crown series, and you might be thinking, oh, why are we doing that? Because well, there's actually some really ridiculous moves that Sargon does. So let's give that a shot. Oh, whoa, he's doing... Oh, that's really, really cool. So he's doing gingers. Basically what that is, what they are. So this is called the release move, where you let go of the bar, maybe do a skill, and you recatch it. In this case, he's doing essentially like a flip and a half turn. So that's... it's actually a pretty hard move. Again, you have to like learn how to do a giant because it's the most basic thing. And then after that, you have to like be able to flip and then have a half turn and then catch the bar again. It's pretty hard. All right, so ginger release moves. This will go in, definitely takes a bit of work. I think it's harder than all of these. Yeah, it's harder than all, wait, yeah, I think it's harder than a muscle up. Is it harder than a muscle up? Okay, I think ginger is definitely harder than a muscle up. So far, it's the hardest move. Okay, he's doing a backflip off of a high bar, like just catching it again. Okay, so that's a little silly. Again, getting that amount of height obviously hard is a little ridiculous. But let's just talk about the backflip first. So in gymnastics, there is a skill called Kovacs, where essentially you swing around the bar and you do a bit of a wind-up swing, and then you would do like essentially like a double backflip over the bar and you recatch it. It is stupidly hard, stupidly technical, takes years to master, and also pretty like scary sometimes, you know, if you end up catching it like a little too soon, your face is right there at the bar. So yeah, but super cool for the spectators. I love seeing doing good Kovacs. But yeah, it's probably the hardest move in one of the hardest skills in gymnastics to do. So yeah, and that guy Sargon's able to do it, kind of insane, kind of a little ridiculous. I mean, like, I guess he's not really a prince, so I guess it's okay. Or is he? Maybe he is a prince. I don't want to spoil. Anyway, let's give this a rating. So the Kovacs, spend your whole life learning it. Yeah, I think Kovacs is really hard. I think it's the hardest move so far. Maybe the 4 flips is actually, I think 4 flips and 4 twists and a flip is actually, I think maybe harder, maybe a little bit harder. So yeah, I think that's the rating. Now the next one we have is coming from Forgotten Sands. Okay, let's see, he's on the column, and oh, that was really fucking cool. That was really sweet. That was like a one-arm catch and like to a, like basically a front giant. So that was really sweet. So like for the past like a little while, all the swings we've been looking at have been like back giants, where you're going technically backwards because you're technically like doing going in backwards rotation. This one he like essentially over jumps and then catches it from the front and ends up going forwards. Usually when you do like a front giant, you usually want to catch it like this, like your fist facing towards you, because that's how you would swing, right? Because when you're swinging on things, especially doing the back giants, like all the other swings were, you want to hold the bar like you want to pull up. But it's actually the opposite. You want to hold it like you're holding a chin up for front giants. But this prince, for some reason, catches it like he's doing a pull-up, which is weird because, like, if you did try to do a front giant that way, you would definitely slip off. It's possible, but it's kind of pointless. You don't get much speed, and your hands kind of feel weird doing it. So, and also the fact that he caught it with one hand, like, that was really stupid. But I do like the animation. It was really, really cool. So let's give this a rating. The front giant catch. It's not even that hard, but like, I mean, it's not, you can't spend your whole life doing it. I think it's right front. Yeah, I think it's right there. It's basically like an easier version than the high bar dismount because you're kind of like going forward and you see the bar as you're coming towards it. So I think it's easier than the high bar dismount regrasp. So I think it's perfectly fine right here. Okay, more giants. I like to see that. Oh, he's standing on the bar. Nice. Okay, that's really cool. That's interesting. So, I hope the bar is like pretty thick because this one looks pretty thick. Because on a real high bar, the bar is thin. It's literally just like 2 fingers in diameter. To stand on that is pretty challenging. Sometimes you kind of have to when learning some skills, but generally you're not putting your feet onto it. So the fact that he jumped onto it is pretty crazy. And he's what? Wait. He jumped on the bar, then jumped back. He jumped up and back down. That's pretty hard to do. Not impossible, but pretty difficult to do. Like the bars are so thin. And if it was thick, then you wouldn't be able to like swing on it because like you can't really get your hands around it. So it has to be thin enough to be able to swing around it, but thick enough for your feet to catch it. You're not gonna really find a bar like that. We're gonna rate this high bar jump. It takes a bit of work. Yeah, it's not really hard. It's mostly a balance skill. Okay, let's put it, I think half turn giants. I'll put it right above giants. I think that's perfectly where all right, next up we have, I think, rope swing, which is pretty new. Okay, that's pretty cool. So jumping and catching rope is actually really, really easy because the rope is like it's flat. You're always gonna see it. Like every part of your body can catch it. Like just put your hands out like this, and one part of your body will touch it. And swinging on a rope is actually also really easy because it's kind of like the same way like how a swing set works on a playground. You kind of just like kick back and forth. You don't really need much technique. I think anyone can learn to do it. And special enough in this case is that flipping off a rope is also really, really easy. In fact, it's way easier than a high bar because like a high bar, like if you hold on for too long, you end up clipping your feet, which is one of the biggest dangers and kind of like can induce a lot of fear in some gymnasts when they're learning the skill. Because if you clip your feet at the top and then you're kind of fucked. You're just gonna go straight down, and then you don't even see it too. It's like you're just flipping. Oh, I'm going, and then your feet clipped, and then you're like, wait, I didn't even see it. And then you just fall straight down. Happened to me. Wasn't fun. But yeah. But on a rope, that's not gonna happen, right? Because the rope is vertical. So like, and also it's soft. Like your feet's not gonna really touch it or anything. So it's less likely for it to happen on a rope. I will rate this. Rope swing backflip. It's not that hard. I think you can learn it in a day. That's my hot take. It's not that hard. Get a rope. Go give it a shot. Go get some soft padding at it. Padding underneath it in case you do fall. So anyway, let's move on to the next move. All right, now we have what looks like the balance beam. Okay, I really like that it has his hands to his side. That's really important when you're trying to walk across a beam. Okay, that was really, really good. That was pretty good. So Beam is another event in gymnastics, and it's also a women's event. Also one of the only events where like women are actually better than men on it, like physically, because women have like more body fat in like the lower half of their bodies as compared to men. So they're able to keep balance better. Most men are like top heavy, so it's actually harder for men to keep balance. I suck at beam. I never did it. It was a girls' event. I was like, no way am I doing it. Also, people can split the beam, which also really isn't fun, and I have testicles I want to keep, so I don't want to do that. So I never did it, but you can think of beam essentially as like floor, like floor event or tumbling just on a beam, and that's basically how the event kind of goes. So I did like the hands to the side. That's also a really important thing too. So when you're like walking, even on like ice or even on like beam, anything, like having your hands side does help you keep balance. That's actually why like animals have tails and why we had tails. Personally, I think humans should have tails. It'd make life way more fun. Yeah, so keeping your hands to the side will help you keep balance. Also, like if you're like walking on ice, just have your hands to the side. You know, you might help you keep balance, help you make sure you don't fall. So yeah, that's a little good thing. So walking across a beam, how would I rate this? It sounds harder than it is, but they definitely can learn it in a day. Walking across a beam, definitely something to learn in a day. I can learn in a day. I think, you know what? Yeah, it's not that bad. It's like easy. Like maybe it'll take you a few tries, but it's pretty easy. Okay, now we have our next thing on beam, and oh no, that's insane. Why? Oh my god, this just brings back scars. So I think that's I think that's really stupid. Long jumps on beam are really annoying because like the beam is so thin, and if you just go a little bit to the left or the right, you're not gonna land on it. Also, your feet can hurt. Like the beams are not soft at all, so your feet can hurt, and you have to also stay upright. Which is the hardest part. So I legitimately think flips on beam are harder or are easier than this, because at least with the flip, it's just like a jump, but you land on the same spot. But when you go forward too significantly, it's that can be pretty challenging. So long jump off of beam, this is definitely can learn in a day, man. Maybe I'll put it right here. I think that's fair. It's harder than it looks. Maybe just me. I hate beam. All right, next up we have some more acrobatics. Okay, it's a back handspring. Okay, another. Wow. Okay, that was pretty good. This is the classic. This is what most people think of gymnastics, or back handsprings and backflips, which, you know, I don't disagree, but I think gymnastics is a bit more than that. So, but honestly, it's pretty good. One weird thing though, why do you have a sword in your hand? Like, do you know how hard it would be to do a back handspring with a sword in your hand? Like, are you like flattening your hands at the last second, or are you doing it with a fist because you want to keep holding on to the sword? Either one is kind of crazy, so that would definitely hurt on the hand section. We're gonna pretend we didn't see that though, because, you know, we can give a guy a little bit of credit. Also, what's really cool is that like once you get enough momentum going on one backflip, you can connect it to another and another and another. And fun fact, it's actually a whole like sport involved with that, called tumbling. So you kind of just keep doing flips into flips into flips, and it's really cool. I think it should be in the Olympics. I really don't know why, but that's a discussion for another day. And let's rate this skill. How hard is it to do a backflip or a back handspring? I'm gonna be upsetting people. I'm gonna say it's actually you can learn it in a day. You can learn it if you can jump a decent height, like maybe an average person, and your knees don't hurt when you land. You can learn it. It's not that difficult. Backflips and mostly any flip really just comes down to like mental awareness, right? It's not really physical in a sense. It's mostly just like mental about where you are in the air, how you take off, how you land. All right, I think next one is going to be a real big challenge. All right, let's see what he does. Oh no, he's doing a roll! Oh my god, it's so hard. It's so hard. My shoulders hurt. My hair hurts. My everything hurts. That's so difficult. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's a fucking forward roll. It's just super easy. It's a basic of gymnastics. But this guy, for some reason, is doing it over the shoulder. Like, what the hell? Like, what kind of technique is this? When you're doing a forward roll, you have to do it like over your head, like go directly over, not over the shoulder like a wrestler. Like 0 points, fail, go back to training. You suck. But how hard is a roll? That is the question today. Roll is gravitationally impossible, or maybe for some people. It is. Yeah, it's actually really easy. Like babies learn to roll. Literally, like rolling is the first thing we learn. It's not a significant challenge. All right, next up. Oh, we got some vaulting here. It's vaulting over the enemies. That's really nice. It's really cool. Okay. All right, so vault. So in gymnastics, there's another event called vault, where you run up as fast as you can into essentially a wall, really, and then you try to flip over it, and you land. So, here, what the prince is doing is he's vaulting basically over the enemies, and that wall is the enemy. So, I would say it's actually technically possible, right? In cheerleading, people go up to you, like there's the cheerleading. There's like supports who would flip the other person coming at them, like they're running at them. So technically, it's possible to do this. The thing is, if someone doesn't see that vault coming and they're not aware, they're going to tumble and crumble on the floor. They're not going to be upright. They're just going to be on the ground. Like to flip over something, you kind of have to put a lot of force into that flipping jump. So so when the prince does that, the enemy will end up being on the floor and he won't be able to attack him. So I mean, I guess that's some way of doing damage. So that's like the one weird, unrealistic thing about it. But yeah, it's technically possible, not that hard. All he's really doing is like a front flip and a half twist. Not that challenging. So vaulting over enemies, I think you can learn it in a day as long as you coordinate with your cheerleading partner or like a cheerleading support. I don't know what the word is for the cheerlead people who like lift people up on cheerleading things. I'll call them supports for now. Oh, do I see a really difficult move? This is going to be exciting. All right, let's see what we have next. Okay. Whoa, I did not see him go into a handstand half twist like that. That's crazy. Okay. That's really weird and really cool. Oh yeah, that's an air flare. That is, wow. That is really well executed. So right there, what he did was an air flare. An air flare is actually kind of like it was initially a breakdancing move, ironically. So what it is effectively is a basically like think of it like a you're in a handstand and you kind of want to like do a half turn, but you want to do it the opposite way and do a bit of a jump, and then use your legs to carry you in that jump. And then once you get enough momentum, you can like connect it into another and another and another. And then once you're doing that, you're essentially going around in a circle. But the way the prince does it, he connects 2 of them and then starts the combo. Again, really cool move. Super difficult. I should say that this is really hard. I never learned. It was way too difficult. It was past my skill set. I don't know very many people who do it because like unfortunately it's not worth a lot in the gymnastics code of points, so like don't really it's not really worth learning. How would I rate it though? Well, you'll spend a lot of time. I think it's right below 4 twists, like a 4 twist flip. Wait. Yeah, actually, I think Kovacs is harder. I would say Kovacs is harder. I think it's right here. You'll spend a lot of time learning it. Like, breakdancers who learn it, they spend like months, years to learn it. It's a struggle to absolutely learn it. So, yeah. But can a prince learn it? Well, maybe. Maybe with magic powers he can. All right, let's see what's next. Oh, we have wall-to-wall jumping. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool in this series. This is basically almost like an every platformer. And honestly, I have a report that it is physically possible. I've never done it. It's not really my thing. But I got a video of someone doing it. It's definitely possible. It's honestly not the most practical thing because like if you want to go if you want to get height, you can probably just find another alternative. I'm gonna say somewhere here. It definitely takes a bit of work. I think it's harder than this. Wall run backflip. Yeah, right here is good. I think that's a good. Oh crap. Okay, we have a nice chimney climb going down. That's going up and down. That's really, really cool. So this move, actually pretty possible as long as you have decent flexibility in your legs and strength. It's actually not that difficult to do. It's kind of you'll have difficulties like finding walls in that that narrow, but I think anyone can learn to do this. As a result, I think this is a pretty easy thing to do. What's chimney climb? Easy, you can learn in a day. I'll say you can certainly learn it in a day. It is not that hard. I think anyone can do it. And the final move, the final Prince of Persia move that we saved it just for last. And coming from Prince of Persia 2008. Really beautiful game. Okay, let's see. Okay, beam jumping. I like that. I like that. It's possible. And oh, he's turning around. And how he's gonna jump to that? He's gonna wait, what? No! Come on. Alright. Okay, this is really dumb. That was really stupid. Come on, this really. Now we're just doing ceiling walks as if as if the gravity's turned off. Obviously, I don't have to say it, but this is the most easiest thing in the game. Like, you guys can't do this? You guys can't walk on the ceiling? Bitch, I've been walking on the ceiling since I was a kid. All right, easy S tier in terms of difficulty, but yeah, 100%. It's not even in the claw. He can do this. I mean, I can do this. I think you can do this too. I recommend you guys all get on the ceiling, give it a shot. I think you guys will have a fantastic time doing it. And you know, if you do, post it up on YouTube. You know, I want to see it too. But anyway, thanks for watching the video.